to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Today, the 25th day of January 2025. The 6 days of President William-Ruto's Western campaign rallies, and I'm intentional about saying it because I believe they are not development tours, was very horrible and exposed a horrible scheme. And in fact, it's a threat to his re-election and a threat to unity of the country. The tour, styled as development tour, was actually the launch of 2027 campaign tone. And in fact, it is right to say the speeches in Western were below presidential stature. And when you look at those video clips, when you replay those video clips, you'll get confused whether the person standing there is a sitting president or the 2022 presidential candidate. The speeches are laced with bitterness, name-calling, and in fact, tokenism to charge the crowds. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the country to be alert, because the political elite have all the resources to disorganize and reorient and rearrange the masses. I want to tell you why the Western tour is actually a threat to Ruto's own re-election. Kindly subscribe to our channel. We are heading to 100,000 subscribers. We are only short of that by 700 subscribers. But first and foremost, I want to say thank you. For the last 3 days, we were fundraising 100,000 to support the family of our brother Charles. And that's why I did not do a video yesterday, because I was up and running, trying to just catch up with the family. And I realized they even had a family, by the way. So they were in Nairobi, and they acknowledged we handed them over. We handed them the money in this video here. Hi guys, I'm here now. The Bold Foundation, we are back. I promised that we were going to hand over a check of 100,000. This is just a dummy. So we are handing over 100,000 to the family of Charles. Now standing with me here is Jack. Jack ndiye alikuwa anaongea kwa ile video. Then you have Maureen. Maureen is the wife. So Jack, Jack uta acknowledge just tumepata pesa and say something to school.
Yes. So my name is Jack Jeno Nyango. I'm the son of the. Nimeshukuru sana. Nimepata 100K. And may God bless you, the Lord. May God bless you 100 times. Nimeshukuru sana. Mungu abariki kabisa kabisa. Asante.
Now guys, on behalf of the Bold family, let me take the final opportunity to say poleni sana. Poleni sana. May God stand with you. The not death does not knock, and it comes. Na watoto ni wangapi? 3. Wengine wa huyu ndiye mkubwa. Okay. Tell us something about Charles. Sambie jina.
Okay, naitwa Maureen. I'm the first wife of Charles. I'm married to Charles. I have 3 boys, Jack, Sean and Ray. Nashukuru sana vile mmenifanyia, nimepata vile naweza lipa bill, na washukuru sana sana sana, na Mungu asaidie.
So guys, so thank you. They will, from here they'll proceed to make sure that they give Charles a final send-off. We've supported Charles twice, the bill and the burial. On behalf of myself, the Bold team and my family, I want to say thank you and may God bless you. Let me make an admission. This is not one of the most difficult project we did, but I want to say thank you on behalf of myself on behalf of Bold Foundation, I want to say asanteni sana. Some of these things, we normally see what we do just in camera here. But ukienda kwa ground, you will feel the way we relieved that family. I can't tell you. We really relieved them. And they're making the plans. So they will get back to me when the day they'll do burial next week, any day next week from Monday. Then I will also make my way there. We have really done something. We, not me. You watching this video. You who contributed your 50, your 100, your 30, your 10. Someone even sent me 2 shillings. I loved it. Yeah, it's normally not about me. Sometimes when I go to a ground, they feel, Kevin, thank you, thank you. No, it's not even me. It is us. This was just a channel. This was just a medium. But the real heroes are you seated there. Right from the Sunday service in Bungoma, when Webuye Member of Parliament Dan Wanyama spoke standing 2 meters in front of the president, talking about this isolation card. You need to remember that I analyzed that video, and throughout the 5 days tour in Western Kenya, the president never condemned this narrative. And in fact, throughout 5 days there, 5 days stay there, those speeches, the president and the handlers and all the MPs were talking there, took 5 days profiling Gema community, hiding under an imaginary broad-based unity agenda. The country must be alert. The President of the Republic of Kenya is not talking about unity. He's not talking about unity. No. The speeches in Western Kenya is not talking about unity. It cannot be that when you're talking in community X, you attack community Y and then you talk about unity of a country. And in fact, the voter must actually, in 2025, must look at William Ruto 30% as a president and 70% as a man who is a presidential candidate for 2027. Because the president has, the only thing remaining is putting on the UDA colors. But everything else is ready. Come on, crowd. Even if you check the crowds in Western, they're already putting on the yellow. They're already putting on the yellow colors. Everything is there. He's the MC. It's everything going on there. Now, what was Ruto doing in Western Kenya? It was not development. No, it was not development. It was purely campaigns. And the reason why he went there, yet 4 objectives why the president went to Western. The first objective is to charge the Western Bloc to stop entry of Rigathi Gachagua. You know, and I want us to listen to this speech by Otuoma.
Kusema kwa leo, Mheshimiwa Rais, na umeguzia hiyo maneno ilikuwa imenikera. Nilikuwa naenda kuongelea juu yake. Yaani, sisi watu wa mkoa Magharibi, ni tukipata kitu tunahongwa. Na wengine wakipata ati ni sawa. Na Mheshimiwa Rais amezungumzia watu wanaandikiwa cherry, ile inaitwa coffee cherry, watu ile mambo ya kahawa, madeni inafutiliwa, maneno ya chai wanapata bonus. Lakini jana naona mtu anaongea ati kama sisi tunapata bonus huku kwetu ati tumehongwa. Mwafukizane linunge. Omundu yonga akote rengira. Ati sisi very hard working people tumekuwa hapa tumeumia mambo ya miwa for mistakes that were not our own. Sasa tumepata rafiki anajaribu kutusaidia kutatua. Na wewe sisi tukijaribu kutatua shida zetu unaanza kutuambia ati tumehongwa. Hii mtu tukiona hapa si tutadili naye? Si tumekubaliana? Na hapa Busia tunajua kudili na watu wale hatutaki. Simu manyi rabindi.
Very shameful speech. Pathetic. This country, and I don't know what happens. There's some analysis that there's some things that you don't need to analyze. You need to call them out and condemn. That is not a statement that needs to come from a national leader in an event the president is attending. And the president's handlers they should be able to call out to Odour. Some people from other countries should not go and deal with them. Now, Odour should be reminded, Kalonzo Musyoka supported ODM leader Raila Odinga for the last 15 years. The same Odour should be reminded. Rigathi Gachagua comes from Mount Kenya. Rigathi Gachagua constituency and the community voted for William Ruto to the last man. Those men standing there have never voted for William Ruto. Kwani tukisema? So I think we need to be very serious as a country. I looked at that clip and I said, no, that is not where we want to be. That is not the country all of us want. And let me tell you, the speech by Odour was very strategic, because this is the reason why the president was using abusive and harsh language while attacking Rigathi Gachagua. Let me tell you, Rigathi has been, of course, for the last 2 months, Rigathi have been calling out government on things that are not working. And even if you look at his body language in church, Rigathi talks smiling. Sema mimi namjua. Anafanya very calm. In fact, the person who should be harsh like hivyo ni Rigathi. But Rigathi amekuwa collected. Anaongea chacha, anasema hii rais hiyo ni mbaya. Mimi nilikuambia hii si hivi. It's been very calm, by the way. But Ruto wanted to, and let me tell you, not that Ruto was very angry. No. That was a strategy. I've seen people saying the president was very angry in Western Kenya. No. He wasn't very angry for any reason. It was a very intentional strategy to create an emotional acrimony and profile someone and anyone who dare want to get to the Luya land. So Otuomas are getting carried away with William Ruto's emotional strategy. So people like Otuoma, when they see Ruto attacking and abusing Rigathi, so they think, now that is what is it. In real sense, they are falling for William Ruto's script. And I'm wondering, people in the caliber of Otuoma, people who have not done anything for Busia people. Yeah, Governor Stenya, hakuna track record. So, and why? Because Rigathi Gachagua has locked out William Ruto from Mount Kenya. So that is why it's going to Western. It's going to plant that emotional acrimony to the extent of telling them, you know what, Rigathi did not want you guys. These things are not happening because Rigathi is out of government. So that as if the people should go and vote for William Ruto because they want to punish Rigathi. But politics should be behind that. And you have to remember, 2 reasons why it has to be in Busia. Busia is the strongest ODM zone in Western. And Busia also has a presidential candidate, Okiya Mtata, who might be forming a coalition with Rigathi. And you can see the way the bonuses, and from that I can tell you, the bonuses were actually a token from State House. Mimi, this is my opinion. If you ask me, hata nikilala nikiamka, I'll tell you that. The right people to have spoken about the bonuses were not the politicians, but the Mumias Sugar Company. The Mumias Sugar Company themselves, they would have taken pride of it, and not politicians. That CEO would have called press briefing and said, in my tenure since I took over this company, I've managed to do this, this, and this. The company have made X profit this month, and we have this, and that is why we are paying these bonuses. But if it is politicians struggling to explain to the whole country about bonuses, it is not about Mumia's company, it is about the politicians. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. If that can be the next way of giving it, so that State House inatoa 50 million, patia bonuses wa Mumias. Kesho watoe 300 million, patia wa Trans Nzoia, watoe wengine patia Butali, watoe wengine patia Coffee, but it's just fine. The only thing is if it is done in an isolation manner. Now, the second objective was to sensationalize Raila Odinga's AUC bid by amplifying Ruto as the real supporter of Raila Odinga. And I listened to Musalia Mudavadi saying about Ruto and Raila are together.
Si Mheshimiwa Rais ameshikana na Raila Odinga, si amemfanyia campaign na matumaini yatakuwa mazuri kule AUC. Sasa mimi nataka niulize watu wa sehemu hii ya magharibi, bila kubahatisha, nataka niwaulize, kama Raila ameshikana na Ruto, nataka niwaulize, je, munaona nani mwingine kusema ukweli anaweza ingia kwa uwanja apambane na Ruto ambaye ameshikana na Raila? Yuko? Ndebahe.
Now, one thing, this is something they know. They've realized Raila is at a very critical stage of his campaigns. He needs full government support. Now, Raila cannot now make a statement and say, you know, I'm against this and I'm against things. And the reason why they're using that is because of that statement from Sifuna, where Sifuna was saying that ODM will have to keep his identity. Remember, the ODM is divided into two. There is the transactional wing, the Junet Kaluma wing, who are reaping tenders and everything from government, and now they are the ones that they are shouting about we are in government. So they are calling all manner of press briefings in Nairobi saying we are in government, and in fact it's not just enough to say we are in government. What they should be talking about is what Ruto promised Nyanza. Have those things been done? That should be their principal focus. But then there's Sifuna, Anyang' Nyong'o, Orengo, and Raila camp who are saying that ODM must remain steadfast and should not shy away from calling out William Ruto when things are wrong. And some people feel that because Sifuna is the face of that wing, Sifuna might really convince a significant chunk of the Western ODM caucus. Now, listen to this. So they went there for AUC. Even back in Nairobi, I had Kindiki saying that Ichung'wa is the chief agent for Raila Odinga in Addis Ababa. Kwani do Raila Odinga need a chief agent in Addis Ababa? He doesn't need. You don't need a chief agent. You see kama hii ya Kenya. But because they want to sensationalize and politicize the whole thing. That is what some people really feel bad. Number 3 is perception of Mulembe developing in the broad-based government to counter, of course, after signing that UDA-ANC deal. I want to give you an example, and look at this letter by Osotsi. Let me just look at ODM. Something happened in Luanda. Luanda market was launched. During that launch, on the day that launch was done, something very interesting happened. And this was, the president was heckled there. The president was in Luanda, that was on Wednesday, if I'm not wrong. And they were in Luanda, and they were supposed to launch the Luanda market, and Otichil was heckled. Now, the governor was not the person targeted. The reason why that heckling happened is in this letter. Statements of unfortunate events and political intolerance during the groundbreaking of Luanda market. This is a letter by Osotsi. This heckling is also attributed. I call upon my fellow leaders in the county to desist from this growing negative culture of partial political intolerance. we must understand that you cannot lead people through application of archaic methods. We should all promote political intolerance even as we hold divergent opinions. This heckling is also attributed to the brutal and unnecessary demolition of traders' stalls without adequate notice by contractor and supervised by national government officials to align to president's schedule. In the unfortunate that Governor Otichilo became the victim of circumstance by angry locals due to unprecedented omissions by the national government. What happened? Ruto wanted to go and launch that Luanda market. So the national government team rushed to go and demolish the stores without the due diligence by the county government. County had not done. So the whole thing was rushed. And they were saying that launching of Luanda market needed even not to be done. That launching was actually unnecessary because it was rushed. Na watu wakabomolewa without proper planning. Why? Because someone had to show that I have something I'm launching. Launching, even if not the right thing. Now, I want to say three things, interpretation of this. I want to interpret that Western rally. Three messages. Number one, Kalonzo, Matiang'i, Rigathi, Okiya Mtata, and anyone who is saying he wants to face Ruto in 2027 as a matter of urgency must pack his bags, leave Nairobi, and go to Western. Go there, in fact, go to Busia. Let Otuoma mobilize those goons he's talking, so that those goons beat people, those leaders, so that the dark scheme is exposed. From that point, I think we will really win. That the country will, let the country expose the dark scheme around it. The second issue is this. Ruto is avoiding Mount Kenya because his messaging has reached a plateau. It cannot add, it cannot change. People have gotten used to it. There is someone checkmating, and you need to ask if Central Kenya voted to Ruto to the last man in 2027. And now, because he impeached Rigathi and procedurally, and also knows, and sometimes I do agree. Someone told me, Kevin, the president knew that if I impeach Rigathi, Western is gone, but he proceeded to impeach Rigathi. Why? He wanted to get a reason to boot Western, to boot Central Kenya. Himself, he wanted that reason so that he can drop the Central Kenya and go to Western. He knew it. Not that he didn't know that nikitoa Rigathi Central itaenda. And so, that politics of deny Mary and give Paul should end. And the Western wing must be very alert. They must be very alert. Whatever is being done there is what was done in Central Kenya. And after realizing hakuna kitu amefanya, after all those promises, he now doesn't want to go there because he will be asked those things. So he's going now to Central with another fresh round of promising. The country must be alert. This is Ruto supporting Rigathi.
Nataka nimshukuru sana huyu deputy wako. Mara anaonewa sana na anaonewa sana kwa kusema ukweli. Lakini mimi namshukuru kwa sababu yeye ni shujaa. Hata watu wapige kelele namna gani, akitaka kusema maneno ile iko ngumu sana, anasema hajasoma sana. Ndio apate mahali ya kuhepa. Lakini huyu mtu anakaa kama mtu ambaye hajasoma kweli. So tunashukuru sana, asante sana kwa kumpokea hapa. Mimi nataka niwaeleze ya kwamba mimi sasa ni mtu ya jirani yenu hapa, na tutashirikiana, tutafanya kazi pamoja.
The village folks is the target with the populist politics of tokenism as the middle class suffers. The middle class must join the conversation to enlighten the village folks of the card. Otherwise, the country is not going in the right direction. In fact, the Western tour is a threat to his own re-election and a threat to the stability of the country. Thank you.